Hello, 1 2 3, mic check. Hello. A very good morning to all our live viewers. We are back with the first match of the day in the Super Sunday. It's the all important Silver Cup final. All set for the match to play. The first ball. Pawan just cuts it, looking for the quick single. A direct hit. A direct hit from there. Would have been mighty close. So, two coming off the very first ball. Pawan gets off the mark with couple of runs. This is the all important Silver Cup final, which is played between the Game Changers and Salesforce Strikers. Game Changers, after winning the toss, they have opted to bat first. Another single down to long on. So, Akhil on the strike for the first time. Pawan and Akhil are the two openers to start the proceeding for Game Changers, whereas Rahul Polepalli to open the bowling for Salesforce Strikers. 181 matches for Rahul, 223 wickets, economy 6.81, best figures of 4 for 10. Tossed it up, almost, almost gets the batter at the other end. Good shot, but he was taking his co-batter off there. Akhil, Pawan did well to get out of that one. Score moves to 4. 42 matches for Pawan, 1625 runs. Very, very good average. 58.04 for Pawan. Strike rate is good. 118.10 as well. Now on the strike is Akhil. He's a very experienced batter. 343 matches for Akhil. 5421 runs. That's in the air. Fielder coming underneath and he'll take it. Well, as I said, Akhil is very experienced, but he played a very wrong shot there. And Rafiq Sheikh in the inner circle takes a beauty, charging in. That was full, and Akhil went after that one, gets it right out of the toe, and it's a very safe catch taken by Rafiq Sheikh. Game changers lose very first wicket in the very first over. Rahul Polepalli strikes. Salesforce strikers draw first blood in the all important Silver Cup final. This is the Silver Cup final of One Champion Elite Season 43. Everything to play for. Game changers winning the toss, opting to bat first. They've lost the very first wicket in the very first over. In fact, it's just taken 5 balls for Salesforce strikers to break through. 5 for 1 inside the very first over. New batter in is Darshit, in at number 3. In very early, 215 matches for Darshit, 3,789 runs, averaging 25.43, strike rate 108.23, gets off the mark straight away, single down to square leg. Well, the fielder which was backing up made a mess out of that one. So instead of one, they'll get two to close out the over. So 7 runs and a wicket of Akhil coming in the very first over by Rahul Polepalli. Game changer, 7 for the loss of 1 after 1 overs. Vinith to share the new ball alongside Rahul Polepalli. He is a left arm pacer coming over the wicket for the left-hander. 67 matches for Vinith, 77 wickets. Economy very good, 6.83. Best figures of 4 for 14. Cut away, but straight to the point fielder. The non-striker there, Darshit, was very keen to get that single, but Pawan sends him back. Rightfully, that ball went straight to the point fielder. No signs of ball holding in the surface so far. Pawan moved early. He was ready to go over fine leg, but he aborted his shot at the very last moment and just defends it. He gets a single for that, but he does that very strangely. He got down on one knee. He was ready to scoop it over, but at the very last moment, that ball was just not enough on the body to play in the fine leg. Hence, just defends it for a single. Score moves to 8. Good, good start for Vinith. He's bowled well against the left-hander. Now Darshit, the right-hander, on strike. Length delivery. Looked to punch off the back foot. He gets beaten. So does the wicketkeeper. That ball doesn't carry to the wicketkeeper. Well, that suggests that it doesn't have enough pace in the surface at the moment. Understandably, it drizzled a lot overnight. Conditions are overcast too. So very good conditions to bowl on if you are a bowler. Shot, sat up nicely and pulled away very nicely. That will be the first boundary in the final for the game changers. Coming off the blade of Pawan. That was a real loosener from beneath. He's not one of the quickest bowler, and surface is not quick too. It's not coming that quickly off the surface, and he banged one halfway down that sat up very nicely. No pace at all in that ball, and these are easy pickings for Pawan, who makes no mistake and puts it away with ease. He moves to 9 of just 6 deliveries. Game changers moves to 13. 6 runs already of the over. Once again drifts on the pad. This time the length was full, but drifting on the pads is a suicidal against this man. Pawan, he's having nothing. He's having no. Look at that one. Beautifully sweeps it right in between square leg and fine leg for a boundary. Two fielders there, one in the square leg, one behind square leg, but nobody is stopping that one. That ball raced like a tracer bullet. Well, an expensive over already from beneath. He's gone for 9. Now changes his angle, comes around the wicket. Still balls it on the pads. Sweeps it beautifully. There was a fielder there in the deep square leg, but still the ball beats him towards his left. Well, hat trick of boundaries, 4-4-4 to close out the over. An expensive one from beneath. 14 runs coming off that one. Well, the game changers now back on the run scoring way. After losing first wicket in the very first over, they scored 14 in the second on the back of Pawan. 21 for the loss of 1 after 2. Rahul will continue. A good first over from Rahul. 7 runs and a wicket of Akhil coming in that one. Now he's back to ball his second and the third of the innings. Tossed up. That's in the air. Mid off fielder settle underneath and he takes it. Well. Rahul gets his second in the very first ball of his second over. Well. Darshit the man dismissed. Once again, very full in terms of length. Darshit feeling for that one, trying to go downtown. Once again, gets nowhere near the middle of the bat. That ball not coming as quickly as the batters are anticipating. Spinners, spinners will get lot of purchase from this surface clearly. Rahul Polapalli, instead of bowling pace, he's opted to ball spin and he's been rewarded with the second wicket. Already he's got 2. Well, Darshit, who was in, who looked good, played couple of good shots, but he's departed cheaply. Game changers, 2 down for just 21 on the board. New batter in is Chaitanya in at number 4 for the game changers. 244 matches for Chaitanya, 1016 runs, averaging over 11. Strike rate 85.45 for Chaitanya. That's a beauty by Rahul. Well, beats the new batter to its outside edge. This time the ball held his line and skids through. This is smart from Rahul. This time just throwing the ball up but wide of that batter. Once again, another batter feeling for the ball, trying to go big inside half of the bat onto the pads. That's a dot ball, back to back dot balls. Once again, slow through the air. This time, cut away. Will that beat the fielder in the inner circle? No, it doesn't. Good effort there by Rohit, who's right at the edge in the gully. So, with that single, Chaitanya gets off the mark. Well, Pawan, he needs to continue. He needs to continue on the very way for the game changers. Well, they have lost couple of wickets, early wickets, game changers. They look to get in a partnership from here on. A deep mid wicket, in fact, a deep square leg, and long gone. outside the circle for Pawan. Tossed up, looking to sweep. That looked very full, but that might be drifting down the leg with the angle. Well, that was a very close shout. That's a mighty close shout that will make the batter think. He swept well up until that point, but was beaten on that occasion. This time he defends it off the front foot. A super over from Rahul. Wicket and a run coming off that one. After 3 overs, game changes. 22 for the loss of 2. Vinith to continue. Now he's coming in with the short run up. In fact, he's bowling spin now as well. Well, they have clearly seen that there's more assistance for the spinners in the surface, and clearly they have a different plan straight away altogether. Vinith now turning into left arm orthodox bowler. He'll take the ball away from the right hander. Slow through the air, hit on the up. Well, a good fielding there by Vinith himself in his follow through. That ball almost carries to the bowler in his follow through. Chaitanya needs to be very careful of that. Well, looking to cut, trying to play late. This slip in play as well. Well, Chaitanya now flirting with danger. Well, he should not play that shot when there's a slip in play. This time gets it away, hits it away. On the outside, there's a fielder behind in the mid wicket. So it will only be a single. A good comeback. 13 runs in the very first over for Vinith. Now he's only given one in his 5 deliveries in this over. Talk about comeback. We have one here from Vinith. So field changes completely for the left-hander Pawan, who's striking very well here. He's got 17 of just 10 deliveries. Pawan needs to play a waiting game from here on. He should just need to stitch in the partnership. That's an absolute beauty from Vinith attacking the stumps. That's been defended off the back foot. So another good over for the bowling team, Salesforce Strikers. After 4 overs, 23 for the loss of 2 game changers. Rahul will continue. Superb 2 overs for Rahul. Gets him his third. He'll bowl third in the power play. 2 overs, 8 for 2 so far for Rahul. Into his third over. Will bowl the fifth over of the innings. Once again, very slow through the air, just enticing the batter to go for it. He's got deep mid wicket and a long on. Two fielders out on the boundary for that big shot. That's in the air. Cover fielder settling underneath and he takes it. Well, a very soft dismissal for Chaitanya. Once again tossed up. And this time lifted, but lifted straight as far as the fielder in the inner circle. Mrudun there, right at the edge in the covers, takes a very good catch. Well, Chaitanya will be mighty disappointed with himself. He departs cheaply. Third one down for the game changers. All three picked up by Rahul. A very similar kind of deliveries. Once again, he balls very full and gets the reward. Game changers 23 for the loss of 3. New batter in is Nandakishore Neely in at number 5 for the game changers. 128 matches for Nandakishore Neely, 1942 runs, averaging just under 21, 20.8 to be precise. Strike rate 89 for Nandakishore Neely. He's in at number 5. We'll be facing Rahul, who's at the moment under tremendous well rhythm. He's bowling excellent spell. He's already got 3. Once again tossed up. Well, he's enticing the batters for big shot. He's not shy of pitching it up. He's got 3 wickets just by doing that. Batters feeling for the shot, but this ball is not at all arriving quick through the surface. Hence, not easy to play on the rise. 3 dots after that wicket. A super over from Rahul. No run conceded. He's already got a wicket. Once again, very slow through the air. Well. Very thick outside edge. Very close to that slip. He got his right hand stretched wide but cannot reach to that one. So it's only a single coming off that over. The super over from Rahul Polepalli. 24 for the loss of 3 after 5 game changers. Vinith will continue. So 3 overs for both the open bowlers. This will be the final over of the power play. Game changers 24 for the loss of 3. It's been a while power since Pawan has got a strike. Another beauty from Vinith. Pitching outside of them, turning further away from the right-handers. Well, good assistance. Well, once again looking to cut that one. Very close to outside edge. Good take by the wicket keeper. Back-to-back dot deliveries. Bowlers just getting through their overs very quickly here. Another dot. Once again a batter swings but makes no connection with the ball. Well, this is super from Salesforce strikers. They have tied up both the batters. They haven't allowed them to score any. Shot. Once again looking to cut. Once again gets beaten. Well, that's the 4th time on a trot in this over where Nandakishore Neely tried to cut but he's been beaten. This time under half of the bat, but it will still be a single down to long on. Slightly shorter trajectory this time from Vinith. He went into the surface. He wasn't full in the previous deliveries as well, but that ball was much shorter. Hence, Nandakishore Neely plays it with the ease. It's a single down to long on. Finally, strike is back with Pawan. This is the first time he's on the strike in last 2 overs. Well worked away on the onside. It's a single down to square leg. So only 2 runs coming in the final over of the power play. Super power play for Salesforce strikers. Game changers 26 for the loss of 3 after 6. Field restrictions will be uplifted. Now fielding team can have more fielders outside the inner circle. First change in the bowling attack. Mrudun now with the ball in hand. 28 matches for Mrudun. 18 wickets, economy 8.38. Best figures of 2 for 12 for Mrudun. Straight away, a seamer into the attack after the power play. Well, there's a change in tactics for Salesforce strikers. They've bowled exceedingly well in the power play. No pace on the ball in the power play. So pacer into the attack immediately after the power play. Well, starts off with a very poor delivery. No one there in the fine leg. That's a boundary. These are easy pickings for Pawan. Well, Mrudun straight away drifts one on the pads, and Pawan is very strong on the pads. We have already seen that's the fourth boundary in that region for Pawan. Well, whenever drifted on the pads, is just scored runs with ease in the square leg, in the fine leg, wherever he wants. He has good time. He likes the ball there. Pawan Mrudun is ball poor. Is ball a very poor delivery. First up, score moves to 30. Pawan moves to 22 of just 13 deliveries. Shot punched off the back foot. There's a fielder behind in the sweeper cover. It will only be a single down to that fielder. Three 31 for 3 after 6.2 overs. Field is now well spread out for both the batters. This time Rudun goes very full right into block hole. Nanda Kishore Neely does well to keep it out. That's a dot ball. This is much better from Rudun. Is balled very full on that occasion, and it's a dot ball. Nanda Kishore Neely is found going tough here so far. 3 of just 11 deliveries so far for Nanda Kishore. Into the surface. Mrudun on that occasion, and Nanda Kishore does well, pulls it well in front, straight to the deep mid wicket fielder for a single. 6 runs already of the over, only 2 deliveries remaining. This has been a productive over for the game changer so far. Well, they needed that Once again on the pads, this time Pawan plays with the very soft hands and threw for a single. Once again drifting on the pads against Pawan's. Not a good idea. Also, it's a good comeback from Rudhan. After going for a boundary at the very first ball, he only gives 3 in his next 4 deliveries. All in all, 7 coming so far in this over. Last ball of the over. Mridin Tunanda Kishore Neely, 33 for 3, the game changers. Last ball of the 7th over. Well shot. Nandakishore looking to pull appeal there for the leg before, but that ball was clearly drifting down the leg. We have to wait for the umpire's decision. He says leg by. Couple of runs to game changers. So a good over for game changers. 9 runs coming off that one. 35 for the loss of 3 after 7. Another introduction in the bowling attack. Now Sai into the attack with his right arm off break. More spin from Salesforce strikers. That's the right way to move forward. Tossed up delivery, driven all along the carpet. It's a single down to covers. Good backup this. Good backup there by the mid wicket fielder. 84 matches for Sai. 99 wickets. Economy under 8. 7.93. Best figures of 5 for 29 for Sai. Yes. He starts off with a single. Well, inside edge. Ball moves into the square leg. Fielder there was right at the edge. They're going for the second run. In fact, they'll complete the second run with ease. Well, this is excellent piece of running. Fielder there in the square leg was right at the edge. So both the batters calling early for two. Completes the second with ease. This time driven on the up, but straight to the short cover fielder. That's a dot ball. This is much better from Sai. He should ball full and entice the batter for big shot as Rahul Polepalli did this time. Just over the head of the bowler, hit straight back. It will be cut off by the long on fielder, so it will only be a single. 4 runs so far of the over, two deliveries yet to be ball. Good over for sales strikers, I must say. Game changers, just doing the rebuilding work. They're re-strategizing. They've lost three quick wickets, so they look to re-strategize. They look to rebuild. They look to get in a partnership, which is the demand at the moment for the game changers. They have couple of batters yet to come, but yes, they need this partnership to go on from here on in order to lay a platform for them. Very slow, played off the back foot, but straight to the covers for a single. Good running between the wicket. Fielder there was right at the edge of the circle, so single was on. Both the batters seizing on the opportunity. 40 is up for the game changers. 40 for the loss of 3 in just 7.5. Last ball of the over. A very flighted delivery. Once again, played off the back foot, not coming on the front foot, trying to take that ball on the full. Just happy to play it off the back foot. Single down to the covers. Game changers after 8 overs are 41 for the loss of 3. Mrudun to continue into his second over. 1.1 overs, 8 for none so far from Mridun. Will be bowling his second and the ninth over of the innings. Well, there's a good delivery from Mridun. It was a Yorker there, attempted Yorker, beautifully executed, but Pawan does well. Just runs it in the gully for a single. Both the batters just trying to rotate the strike and build power to just use it later on. Well, we have to wait for the umpire signal there. Well, that looked like it drifted down the leg. Wicketkeeper does exceedingly well to get good piece of glove, but cannot stop that one completely. So wide plus one, two extras for the game changers. Their score moves to 45 now. Currently, they are scoring 5.4 runs per over. Pawan coming down the track on that occasion, taking the ball on full, but just hits it straight to the square leg for a single. Three singles and couple of wides. 5 runs in this over so far. Mrudun 1.3 overs, 12 for none. He hasn't leaked too many runs, but is someone who's given runs. Well, swing and a miss. Well, that ball was very close to that stump. Once again, the ball kept low and skids through the surface. This will create doubts in Nanda Kishore Neely's and Pawan's mind. Lost 2 balls remaining in this over so far. Mrudun once again very full, going for that Yorker, but Nanda Kishore does well. Hits it straight down to long off, all along the carpet for a single. Only 6 runs so far. A delivery to be bowled. Last ball of the ninth over. Mrudul to Pawan. Pawan moved towards his off stump, trying to access that onside, but smartly balled by Mradun, so it will only be a single. 7 runs coming off that one. After 9 overs, game changers are 48 for the loss of 3. Sai to continue. Will bowl the final over from this end. 1 over 6 for none for Sai in his first over. Will bowl the 10th over and the final one from this end. He'll be bowling at Pawan. Well, beautifully driven just wide of that cover fielder. A misfield there in the inner circle. Long off fielder cuts it off, but it will be couple of runs for Pawan. In fact, they will take one for the throw. Well, that's superb running between the wicket. A poor throw from the deep, a casual throw, and both the batters making full use on the opportunity and running in for a three. Well, with that 350 is up for the game changers. 51 for the loss of 3 after 9.1. This partnership growing in terms of confidence. Well, there's a very thick edge, outside edge, very full in terms of length. Nanda Kishore looking to play on the rise. Gets a very thick outside edge. No one there in the slips. So it's only a single down to that point fielder. Once again, slow through the air, tossed up, driven all along the carpet down to covers for a single. This is good bowling from Pawan. Just trying to just entice the batter, just making the batter think, making the batter feel that he can go for the big shot. This is the right way to bowl at this surface. While batters looking to go big so far at this surface has lost their wicket. Well, that's a good shot off the back foot. Well, they are looking for the second run as well, but Pawan slips, so they'll settle in with a single. A good over for the game changers, I must say. 6 runs already of the over, 54 for the loss of 3. Two deliveries remaining in this over. Salesforce strikers, they have bowled well in this first half. Can they close out even better? Can they get their sixth? They have already sent 3 batters back into the sheds. Can they send 2 more? That will be ideal for them. They'll be eyeing that wickets. Well, in the air and put down. Well. That's a huge moment in the game. Pawan, he was playing so well up until that point. Just trying to go up and over that cover fielder. Well, that was at a very comfortable height. Well, the fielder there pointed his fingers skyways and takes to and looking to take a reverse cup. That ball bursting through. Pawan is not a kind of batter to whom which you'd like to give a life. Well, a single at the last ball, 8 runs coming off the final over from this end. Game changers at the halfway mark in the very first inning in the all important Silver Cup final of One Champion Elite season 43 are 56 for the loss of 3. Sai will continue with his right arm off break. Will be coming over the wicket for the left-hander as well. He's taking his time to set the field. Into his third over, Sai will bowl the 12th over of the inning. Game changer 67 for the loss of 3 after 11. Pawan coming down the track on that occasion, hitting it all along the carpet. A misfield there in the deep. Well, now they are going for the second run. Initially, they decided against that second run, but in the end, a misfield there in the deep. Rohit there in the long off region came charging towards the ball, but fails to collect it cleanly. So it's couple of runs for the game changers. Pawan into 40s with that too. 41 of just 26 deliveries. Take about what a knock this has been. Once again, driven in the very similar area, but this time the fielder there in the deep. Rohit does exceedingly well to keep them to one. Score moves to 70 with that. 70 for the loss of 3 in 11.2. Once again, worked away. There's a fielder behind in the extra cover. They're coming back for 2. They'll get that 2. This is good piece of leg work between these two. Immediately after getting a boundary, he rotates the strike. This is what good batters do. Well, looking for the big shot, gets a leading edge. This time the fielder holds on to that one. Well, Harpreet Singh in the inner circle makes no mistake this time. Well, he's dropped the catch of Pawan in the previous encounter at the very same region, but this time he holds on. Finally, the patient comes to an end. Batter looking for the big shot ends up handing over an easy catch to the cover fielder who's right at the edge. Fourth down for the game changers. Another batter who was in dismissed. Game changer 72 for the loss of 4. New batter in is Akhil Reddy in at number 6 for the game changers. 413 matches for Akhil Reddy, 3,450 runs, averaging over 19.17, strike rate 104.48. He's got good amount of experience under his belt. Akhil Reddy will look to use that and power his team to a good total in this Silver Cup final. Well, straight away hits the ball in a vacant region and gets a boundary. No better way to announce yourself at the batting crease than hitting a boundary at the very first ball. That was a poor delivery from Sai drifting down the leg, and Akhil doesn't miss out. Beautifully hits it towards the right of that deep square leg fielder. That was not far from that fielder, but still good enough to go for a boundary. 9 runs and a wicket, an eventful over so far. Last ball of the over. Once again tossed up, played up upishly, but it will only be a single down to covers. 10 runs and a wicket coming in that 12th over by Sai. Game changer, 77 for the loss of 4 after 12. Another introduction in the bowling attack. Harpreet Singh now into the attack with his medium pace. 194 matches for Harpreet Singh, 79 wickets, economy on a higher end, 9.85. Best figures of 3 for 15. Starts off with a good delivery, length delivery outside off stump. Akhil looking to play a late cut on that one, gets beaten. That's a dot ball to start off the over. Well, played off the back foot. They're looking for that quick single. They'll get one. Good piece of running between the wicket between these two batters. Pawan, 42 of 27. He holds the key for the game changers. They'll be eyeing a big finish, but they needs to play this middle overs first, then eye that finish. 78 for 4. Currently, they are scoring just over 6 runs per over, 6.32 the current rate. Well, Salesforce strikers taking the time to set the field right for the left-hander. Very full. That one held in a surface. Well, Pawan early into the shot. That was in the air for a while, but it's just a single down to long off. Score moves to 79 now. Pawan moves to 43 of just 28. 6 of 4 for Akil Reddy as well. Well, this time that's in the air. Fielder coming underneath and he takes it. Well, that was a nothing shot from Akil Reddy. Looks like he was looking to just scoop that one over that fine leg, but ends up handing over a easy catch to short mid-wicket fielder Mrudundir in the inner circle. Makes no mistake. Fifth one down. Half of the team dismissed for the game changer. Just 79 on the board. Next batter walking in is the captain of the game changers. D9 is in at number 7. 77 matches for D9. 832 runs, averaging just over 8, 18.09. Strike rate 118.86 for D9 is in at number 7. Very capable batter D9 comes in the low order for the game changers, but he's someone who likes to finish the innings with a flurry, but now has a completely different job. First, he needs to get himself in, play a couple of overs, get the team somewhere around 100 and 110 in the time period of 16 to 17 overs. From there on, look for that big finish, eyeing for that big overs. But Harpreet Singh, he's got a big fish. He's got a wicket in the very first over. That's beautifully driven by D9. Wide of that sweep covers fielder. He'll get couple of runs D9 to get himself off the mark. A good over so far from Harpreet Singh. 4 runs and a wicket already in this over. A delivery yet to be bowled. A successful one for Salesforce strikers. Last ball of the over, short and wide. Well, that's been given as wide as well. D9 looking to cut at that one. He was eyeing a boundary there. A very big gap between point and the short third fielder. No one there in between. So D9 was eyeing that gap. Shot onto the body, looking to pull. This time, ball doesn't carry to Mrudun there in the mid wicket regions. It will only be a single to close out the over. Well, D9 survives a very close chance there. 6 runs coming off the over after 13 overs. Game changers 83 for the loss of 5. Another introduction in the bowling attack. More spin for Salesforce strikers as Rashid at the rate 11 makes his way out to the bowling. 813 matches for Rashid. He's got plenty of experience behind him. 342 wickets, economy 8.65, best figures of 5 for 9. Doesn't bowl on regular basis these days, but he's a very good bowler. He'll chip in with wickets every now and then. He's got couple of variations up his sleeves. These conditions will assist his bowling. A very favorable conditions for Rashid. Well, that's a very good shot from Pawan. Will that go for a boundary? A misfield. A good backup from the deep mid wicket fielder. Well. A long on fielder just got a hand to it. That ball almost goes and touch the boundaries, but the mid wicket fielder does well. Just gets it in front of that boundary skirting. So it's couple of runs per Pawan. He moves to 45. He moves closer to his 50. Once again, a back of a length. Played off the back foot, but this time straight back to the bowler in his follow through. That's a dot ball. Shot, and this time Pawan gets it right off the middle. Well, this is intentionally done. He moved early, got down to his knee, and then hits it in the vacant fine leg region for a boundary. Rashid bowling slow through the air and very predictable with his length as well, line and length as well. Pawan moved early, second guess the bowler and gets that boundary in the vacant fine leg region. That's a much needed boundary for game changers as their score moves to 90 now. 7 runs already off the over. Game changers will look to convert this one into a big one. Well, this time much quicker from Rashid, but Pawan does well. And with that single, 50 is up for Pawan. He's held this innings together. He's got 50 in the all important Silver Cup final of One Champion Elite Season 43. 50 of just 32 deliveries with the help of 5 boundaries. Strike rate 156.25 for Pawan. Last ball of the over. Hit hard, but hit straight to the deep fielder. It will only be a single. That was a very good shot, but only for a single. An expensive over from Rashid. 9 runs coming off that one. After 14 overs, game changers 92 for the loss of 5. 92 for the loss of 5. Harpreet Singh to continue. A good first over from Harpreet Singh gets him the second as well. So he'll continue. Well, D9 looking to hit that one in the fine leg, but he was early into the shot. That ball never arrived as quickly as he anticipated. So it will only be a single down to square leg. Idea was right from D9. He wanted to hit that one in the fine leg. 50 is up for Pawan. How will he move ahead after getting that 50? Will he bat much more aggressive, or, well, that's a poor delivery. Well, Singh got away with the previous one, but this time he doesn't get it away. Pawan gets it in the fine leg for a boundary. Well, he once again bowled very much on the pads against D9. He got away with that one, but this time he pays the penalty. Pawan makes him pay, just sweeps him in that vacant fine leg for a boundary. No one there inside or outside the circle in the fine leg, so four written all over that ball. Outfield still fairly quick here at One Champion Cricket Ground, despite of raining all night. Well, there is a change in field. Now they have a fine leg, but no one there in the short third. Very full delivery, played with the soft hands, looking for that quick single. They'll get that one. Good piece of running between the wicket. These two very quick between the wickets. Likes to take those quick singles. They've got one. Well, a loopy full toss there from Singh. D9 drives it straight down to long off for a single. This is good batting from these two. Apart from boundary, they have rotated the strike on regular basis. This is a very important passage for the game changers as well as for the Salesforce strikers. Last once again into the fine leg, the ball goes, but there is a fielder there in the inner circle, so it will only be a single for Pawan. 100 is up for game changers. 100 in good good time. 100 for the loss of 5 in just 14.5. Well, they'll look to up an ante from here on. They'll look to score as much as possible in the final 5 overs after this. They've got 100. They'll look to end up somewhere around 150 or 160. Wha- Anything around, anything over 150 will be a very competitive total at the surface, where spinners are getting plenty of assist. Singh, Harpreet Singh to D9. Last ball of the over. D9 looking for the big shot. There's a fielder behind. Looks like they'll come back for the second as well. Yes, they'll get the second. Good throw from Rahul Polepalli from the deep, but not good enough. So 2 runs coming off the last ball. All in all, 10 runs of the over. A good one for the game changers. After 15 overs, game changers 102 for the loss of 5. Rashid will continue. 1 over 9 for none in his first over. Will continue. Will bowl the 16th over. Well, they have now removed the mid wicket, short mid wicket fielder, and they have plugged in that gap in the fine leg. So fine leg inside the circle for Pawan. Well played off the back foot, punched off the back foot. Straight to the cover fielder for a single. Single to start off the over. Pawan, he's a very slippery customer. He more than offer balls that sliders at the same time. Very effective arm ball with Rashid. This time very slow through the air, throwing the ball wide of that right-hander. D9 reaching for it, but will only get single. D9 could have left that one alone, and he would have got us wide in the on that one, but he plays at that one and only gets one. Quick through the air against Pawan. Rashid offering no width and no pace to work with for Pawan. He's bowling very quick through the air and a very flatter trajectory. Just getting the ball to keep low and skid through. Idea is right against Pawan. This time D9 moved early, hits it in, tried to hit that one in the vacant fine leg region, but hits it straight to the short square leg fielder. So it will only be a single. Four singles so far of the over. A good one from Rashid. Once again, played off the back foot. Once again, it will only be a single. So far, five singles in this over. No extra, nothing. Will Rashid able to close out on this over? Or will D9 spoil his over? Last ball of the over. A very paused action there. Hit on the up. Will not carry to the fielder. Long on fielder there in the deep. Collects the ball on a bounce. So it's only a single to close out the over as well. Six singles coming off that one after 16 overs. Game changers. 108 for the loss of 5. Final 4 overs remaining in this innings. How much more can the game changers add to their tally in the all important Silver Cup final of one champion Elite season 43? Sai to bowl out. He'll be the first bowler to bowl out into his fourth over. So far, 3 overs, 24 for 1 for Sai. Well. That ball was very close to that off stump. D9 swinging across the line, looking for that slog sweep, gets beaten. Well, that ball was very close to that off stump. This time D9 comes down the track, hits it straight as an arrow. Sai does exceedingly well in his follow through. Another dot ball. This is super stuff from Sai. Clearly well aware of the fact that the batting team will look to take him on. This time swept well. There's a fielder behind. Two is the call. They'll get that second one with ease. Score moves to 110 for the loss of 5. We are into the 17th over. Well, the game changers, they need to get a move on. They need big overs as we are into the final 4. Well, that's in the air, fielder. That ball will not carry to the deep fielder, in fact. So it's only a single down to long off. Well, D9 would have had his heart in his mouth for a while, but he gets away with that one. It was so badly timed that it doesn't even carry to the deep fielder. It's only a single. Couple of deliveries remaining in this over. Two balls yet to be delivered. A strike is with Pawan. He's well set. Well, there was a chance there. There was a chance of stumping there. Well, the wicket keeper fails to collect that one. Well, another big moment in the match. Once again, Pawan gets a lifeline. Well, that's the third one in the very match that he's getting. Salesforce strikers. They should have got Pawan. Well, another beauty from side to close out the over. A super over under the circumstances. Only 3 runs coming off the 17th one. Game changers. 111 for the loss of 5 after 17. Rashid will continue. That will be his third over on the trot so far. 2 overs, 15 for none for Rashid. Will ball the 17th over. Very slow through the air. Hit on the up. There's a fielder behind. Well, he slipped, but he stopped the ball as well. So good effort there in the deep. He definitely saves 2 runs for his team. These are not the ideal conditions for the fielders. Once again, shot not full enough. D9 pulls, but pulls only for a single. Three runs so far of the over. Well, the batter there sweeps and sweeps very well. There was a fielder behind in the deep square leg. He makes a mess out of that one. That should have been single for the batter, Pawan, but he'll fetch a boundary for that one. Boundaries have been shortened up in that region as it drizzled last night, and there's plenty of water in the outfield. Welcome boundary for the game changers. They need more of this as we are into the final 3 overs. 7 runs already of the over. They need to convert this one into a big over. Game changers, driven, square driven, straight to the point fielder, but only single taken. 119 for 5 in 17.4. Well, D9 looking for the big shot. There was a slip there, but that ball just evades that slip fielder, lands just behind him. D9 will get a single. Once again, he survives a very close catching opportunity. Well, Rashid, they not happy with the fielder, but that ball was clearly going over his head. Last ball, Pawan this time sweeps, tries to beat that short fine fielder, but He fails to do so, so that's a dot ball to close out the over. Another good one for the game changers as they get 9 of it. 120 for the loss of 5 after 18 overs. Final 2 overs remaining in the match for the game changers. Rahul Polepalli back into the attack to ball the 19th over. Well, he'll bowl out 3 overs, 9 for 3. He's been the pick of the bowlers so far for the Salesforce strikers. He'll bowl the 19th over. It's again very slow through the air, very full in terms of length. D9 does well to pull sweep that one, but sweeps it only as far as deep square leg fielder for a single. Well, Rahul against Pawan will be a very interesting matchup to watch out. Rahul coming around the wicket for the left-hander. Well, driven on the up. There's a fielder behind in the extra cover region. Well, Pawan was keen to get back on strike. He said two, but D9 happy with single there. Understandably, D9 not one of the quickest runner between the wickets, but he'll run that cup two on that occasion. Decides against that two. Well, that's in the air. Very nicely balled by Rahul Pollepalli. That should have been fourth one for him, but the wicketkeeper there juggles and misses out in the second attempt as well. The captain gets a lifeline now. That was one of the simple catches that the wicketkeeper got in the air for a very long while. You cannot have an excuse for that one. You had the gloves, you had everything in your favor, but you still puts it down. Well, this time flat through the air from Rahul. Hit away on the onside. There's a fielder behind. They'll only take one out of that one as well. So four singles so far in this over. Well, Rahul deceiving D9 by bowling very slow through the air on that occasion. What does he has to offer on this occasion? D9 this time gets it, and that's a boundary. Well, that's a welcome boundary. He was hunting for that boundary. Finally, he gets it. Rahul once again very slow through the air, slightly full, enticing the batter for the big shot. This time, D9 gets better of him. That's a much needed boundary for the game changers. Last ball of the 19th over. 9 runs, in fact, 8 runs already of the over. Well, Rahul just missing the ball before delivering it into his delivery stride. He'll reload that one. Well, D9 reverse sweeps one and gets it fine enough. Beats the short third towards his left. That's a boundary. Back to back boundaries to close out the 19th over. 12 runs coming off that one. Game changers finally getting runs in the final overs. 132 for the loss of 5 now after 19 overs. An expensive one from Rahul. Now we need back into the attack to ball the final over of the match. Well, both the open bowlers, Rahul and Vinit, they have bowled exceedingly well with the new ball. Rahul failed to bowl well in his final over, went for 12. What does Vinit have to offer in his final over? We'll see. Left arm over the wicket. Vinit 132 on the board. Well, that's been signaled as a dead ball. Well, the bowler they stopped in the very stride. Low full toss, hit straight, will find the fence. That's a beautiful looking shot from Pawan. Gave it a full heave. Timing so correct on that one, so no chance for long on and long off to cut that one off. And over starts off on a high for the game changers. Well, they'll be eyeing for a big finish. They'll be eyeing something over 150 from here on. They have already got 136 on the board. A left-hander doing bulk of the scoring. Pavan, 70 of 46 deliveries for him. Take a bow. Well, once again goes in the very similar region, but this time long off fielder was set very straight to cut that shot off. He does exactly that. Keeps the batter to one. Good effort there in the deep. Well, now strike is back with the captain of the game changers, D9. He himself is on 29 of just 21 deliveries. He's played his part up until now. They'll be eyeing a big finish. Game changers. Both the batters set. D9 looks for the big shot. This time gets beaten. This is a better delivery from Vinith. A length delivery outside off stump, beating the batter on the outside edge. 5 runs coming in the first half of the over. D9 once again swings. This time the ball goes under his bat. Well, that ball kept low and skids through the surface as well. So back to back dot balls. That was the second one of the over. Good comeback by Vinith. This time D9 advances, doesn't get it out of the middle, but good enough to get a single. So the strike will be with Pawan, who will face the final ball of this innings. 138 for the loss of 5 is what game changers have on the board. Final ball of the inning. Vinith to Pawan. Pawan comes down the track and he misses a very straightforward delivery. And the wicketkeeper behind the timber does the rest. Ajit Kumar. He doesn't miss out on that occasion. So wicket coming at the final ball. A good over. Only 6 runs and a wicket coming off that 20th over. 138 for the loss of 6 is where the game changers ends in an all important Silver Cup final of Unchampion Elite season 43. 139 will be the target for the Salesforce strikers. We'll be back with the chase in a very short while. Do catch us on the other side. Welcome back to the chase. Salesforce striker chasing 139 in the 19 overs. 1 overs has been reduced for them as they came late. So 4 without any loss inside the very first over. Last ball of the over. Well, Vivek Reddy flashes hard that one, but gets beaten. A good comeback from Akil. Only 4 runs, that to a boundary. Coming off this over, 4 without any loss after very first over. Sales for strikers. Pawan to Shane new ball alongside Akil Reddy. Left arm orthodox. Pawan 42 matches for him, 40 wickets. Very good economy, 5.6. Best figures of 5 for 20 for Pawan. Will be bowling at Ajit Singh. 234 matches for Ajit. 2202 runs. Averaging over 12. 12.30 strike rate. 87.59. Well, Pawan starts off with a wide down the leg. On the non-striker end is Vivek Reddy. Vivek Reddy and Ajit Singh at the top, both right-handers for Salesforce strikers. Pawan, he's got his actions. Slightly shorter, attacking the stumps there. The ball skidding through with the angle. Ajit Singh did well to play at that one, but hits it straight to the cover fielder. Dot ball. This time width was there. That was just wide of that cover fielder. Straight to that long off fielder. Will they come back for two? No, they have to settle in with a single. With that single, Ajit Singh gets off the mark. Sales for strikers will look to dominate in the power play to get the upper hand in this Silver Cup final. Well, pitched up and it travels the distance. Well, that is what Vivek Reddy was after. Slightly overpitched from Pawan, and Vivek Reddy takes full use of that one. Hits it a long way back over mid on fielder for a massive six. He moves to 10 of just 7 deliveries with that 6. Salesforce Strikers moves to 12. What a shot that was. Pawan will drag his length back. Well, yes, he does. As expected, he's usually very accurate with his length. Slightly overpitched on the previous instance, and he's paid the penalty there. Still not a bad over, only 8 runs of it. Last ball of the over. A quicker one from Pawan. That was an arm ball. Width was there. Reddy, Vivek Reddy tried to cut at that one but gets beaten in bounds. So 8 runs coming off that one. 12 without any loss. Sales for strikers after 2. A very steady start for sales for strikers. Akhil Reddy to continue. Starts off with a single. Well, this time cut away straight to the point fielder. No chance for single. He's got third man and sweeper cover back on the boundary. Akhil Reddy. 3 fielders in the inner circle on the onside. Mid on. Short mid wicket and a very straight short square leg. whereas four fielders in the inner circle on the offside and two outside. Well, that's a very full delivery outside off stump. Vivek making room for himself, trying to access that offside, but in the end ends up going too far from the ball. That was out of his reach, but inside that wide line, so it's a dot ball. Good changer from Akhil. He was balling into the surface up until that one. His bluffed and went very full, completely taking the batter by surprise. This time driven on the up. Well, there's a misfield in the mid off region. Well, they went for a quick single. Fielder they was charging in, looking for that run out. In the process, lets the ball go through right between his legs. That's a boundary, welcome boundary for Salesforce strikers. Vivek drives it nicely on the up, but a misfield there in the inner circle. Well, the game changers, they don't have enough runs on the board. They didn't put up great show with the bat. They need to be super accurate on the field and with the ball as well to contain these runs. That's a beauty from Akhil Reddy coming in sharply after pitching. Well, the wicketkeeper there fails to collect that one cleanly with the glove and he gets hit on the chest. These are not good signs. Well, he's taking some time and he looks like he's in some trouble. That was a quick delivery from Akhil Reddy. Some medical attention there for the wicketkeeper there. Play stops for a while. 5 runs coming off that third over. 18 for the loss of 3. In fact, 18 without any loss after 3 overs. Sales for strikers. Pawan will continue. 1 over 8 for none for Pawan into his second over. Will ball the fourth over. Well, there's a fielder in the deep, and that ball went straight down to his throat. Vivek Reddy looking to up the ante, looking for the big shot and holds out in the deep. Akil Reddy there makes no mistake. That was coming straight down to his throat. He's got a very safe hands. Pawan strikes and gets rid of a very dangerous Vivek Reddy at the very last ball of his second over. And fourth over ends on a high for the game changers. 23 for the loss of one. Salesforce strikers after four. Well, that's a super shot from Ajit Kumar came down the track, got to the pitch of the ball, hits it straight as an arrow over the head of the bowler. Well, long on fielder tries his best to cut that one off, but it was way too much for him. It's a boundary to close out the over after 5 overs. Salesforce strikers are 32 for the loss of one. Pawan will continue. He'll ball the final over of the power play. Rashid at the rate 11 was the new batter in. Is in at number 3 for the game changers. Very experienced batter. Rashid, 813 matches for him, 13,972 runs, averaging just under 20, 19.82. Strike rate very healthy, 133.60 for Rashid at the rate 11. This will be the final over of the power play. Pawan to ball. Pawan to Rashid. That's a very full delivery. Rashid looking to go big. Gets an inside edge. Ball moves to square leg fielder. It's a single. That was almost a Yorker from Pawan. So Rashid doesn't have enough length to get underneath on that occasion. So it's only a single. Super spell so far for Pawan. Well, that's a poor delivery. Well, Pawan gets away with that one. Drifted down the leg. It was on the pads. Ajit on the sweep gets it right but doesn't find the gap. Straight to that only fielder in the very back foot square leg region. Length delivery this time slashed hard and Rashid will get a boundary. Well, this time he got a length to work with and he threw kitchen sink at that one. That ball flew over the point. Once in the outfield, no point chasing that ball. That ball very quickly hits the fence. That's a boundary. He moves to 6 with that boundary, 6 of 4 deliveries. First sign of aggression for Rashid. Has taken a couple of deliveries to get himself in. Now he is exploding. He's a very explosive batter when keeps going. Well, that's a huge appeal and that's been given. Well, that was a very full delivery. Rashid played all over that one. Well, that's a pretty straightforward decision for the umpire. No hesitation before raising the finger up. Well, he should have been playing with the straight bat. Instead, looked to go leg side, tried to clear that infield, but he misses out. But Pawan gets his revenge, gets a big fish. Rashid dismissed cheaply. He departs after scoring 6. Salesforce strikers lose their second inside the power play, 38 for 2. New batter in is Rafiq Sheikh. In at number 4, will they look for that quick single? No, they won't. That's a very tidy fielding in the inner circle. That's a dot ball. 31 matches for Rafiq Sheikh, 348 runs, averaging just under 13, 12.89. Strike rate just under 120, 119.59 for Rafiq Sheikh. Last ball of the power play, well, almost goes through the defense. inside edge into the square leg fielder. That fielder was very busy in that over. So it's only a single to close out the over. 7 runs coming off that one. 7 runs and a wicket of Rashid. 39 for the loss of 2 at the end of power play. Salesforce strikers field now will be spread out, and the bowling team, the game changers, can have more fielders outside the circle now. Chanchanaidu will continue 1 over 9 for none for Chanchanaidu so far. Will be bowling his second over. 100 needed in 78 deliveries at the required rate of 7.69 runs per over. This is the all important Silver Cup final of One Champion Elite Season 43. Everything to play for. Well, punched off the back foot, straight to the point fielder. Well, what has happened there? Well, that's been given out. Well, the batter there looks like he fell there, and it was curtains for the batter there. Rafiq Sheikh, the man dismissed. Well, that's a very strange way to be dismissed. Pawan with a very good throw, and Nandakishore Neely with the gloves on makes no mistake. That's a very unusual way to go. But nonetheless, game changers will take it. Rafiq Sheikh departs in a very strange manner, run out in one of the strangest ways. 39 for the loss of 3 after 6.1. New batter in is Sahi Rohit in at number 5. Well, huge appeal, and that's been given as well. Well, what have you done, my friend, there? That was a very full delivery. You should have been presenting a very straight bat to that one. Tried to play a sweep shot and played all over that one. That was a pretty straightforward decision, pretty adjacent. Rohit is mighty disappointed, but that is as plumb as you get. Fourth one down in a blink of an eye. Now the game changers all over Salesforce strikers as they get fourth one. Sai Rohit dismissed for a golden duck. Doesn't bother troubling the scorers. New batter in is Maruti in at number 6 for Salesforce strikers. 141 matches for Maruti. 1073 runs, averaging 10.52. Strike rate 91.16 for Maruti. Chanchanaidu went for 9 in his first over. What a turnaround this has been. Got 2 in 2 in his second overs. First a run out, then trapped Sai Rohit in front. Well, that's beautifully done. That's elegantly done. Just runs it in the third man. Gets it fine enough to beat the short third fielder. That's a welcome boundary. Cheeky walk from Maruti to get himself going. gets off the mark with a boundary. No better way to make your presence feel on the field than hitting a boundary as your first runs. Played with soft hands, but they'll not go for the single as the fielder there in the point region is well inside the circle. So, note point looking for the single in that region. Very packed offside field. All the men are very close in the inner circle just to cut that single. Well, there's an off cutter. This time they are looking for that single. A good throw. Batter had to get his dive in. In the end, he makes his ground. Well. Everything happening in that over. 5 runs and 2 wickets coming in that over. A very good one from Chanchanaidu. After 7, 44 for 4. Salesforce strikers. Chaitanya into the attack. More spin from Royal. More spin from the game changer Chaitanya. He's been welcomed into the attack with a boundary. Well, it was short and wide, asking for the trouble. And Maruti is not going to have any one of that. A misfield in the cover as well, but that was a real loser from Chaitanya. 244 matches for Chaitanya, 284 wickets. Economy 6.32, very good. Best, best figures of 6 for 31 for Chaitanya. Good comeback delivery from him. On a length, skidding through the surface. Good take and a sharp glove work behind the timber by the wicketkeeper. Well, this time he goes big but gets it right out of the toe. So it's only a single down to long on. Akhil there in the deep does the cleanup job. Well defended off the front foot looking for that quick single, but it was never there on that occasion. So they have to settle in with the dot. Well, that's in the air and taken. Another soft dismissal for Salesforce strikers. Ajit Singh, the man dismissed. Chaitanya, the catcher there, who helps his mate Chaitanya to get a wicket. Chaitanya combo doing the damage for Salesforce strikers. Half of the team dismissed. Ajit Singh was walking back now. 49 for the loss of 5 in just 7.5 overs. New batter in is Aryan Dubey, and he's been given out as well. Well. Chaitanya gets back-to-back wickets. Well, Aryan Dubey gets nothing in front of him. That was a pretty straightforward decision. Very full delivery, hitting the stumps. Aryan Dubey offers almost nothing to that one, and he's been just LBW, plumb in front. More than half a team dismissed for just 49 on the board. 49 for 6 now after 8. Salesforce strikers, they're going down. They're going down too quickly in the Silver Cup final. Pawan to bowl out. Will bowl the ninth over. Well, and now game changers going for the all-out attack. Well, there's the sweep shot there from Maruti. That was a very full delivery, but somehow he manages to dig that one for a single. Now 50 is up for Salesforce strikers, 50 in 8.1, but they have lost 6 wickets on the way. New batter in is Harpreet Singh. He's in at number 8 for Salesforce strikers. Very capable batter. Well, that's a wide down the leg. Pawan trying to attack the stumps on that occasion, drifts one down. 194 matches for Harpreet Singh, 1529 runs, averaging just under 13, strike rate just under 90 for Harpreet. Well, this time gets beaten on the outside edge. Turn for Pawan on that occasion. Slow through the air, hence getting that turn. But he's got a very deceptive arm ball. Ball will come back sharply at you. There it is, and it hits the timber after hitting the pad. That would have been LBW, but it's gone back to hit the stump. As I was talking, he's got a very deceptive arm ball. He gets it right on the money, and that's curtains for Harpreet Singh. He departs for naught. Another batter fails to open his account. Seventh one down for Salesforce strikers. Just 51 on the board. New batter in is Rahul. Rahul Polepalli, the star with the ball for Salesforce striker, now has a job in hand with the bat. 181 matches for Rahul, 1486 runs, averaging 21 half. Strike rate just under 120 for Rahul. Hits it off the back foot, punches one down to long off for a single to get himself off the mark. Well, what a figures this has been for Pawan. 3.5 overs, 22 for 3 for Pawan. Well, game changers will look to wrap up the tail as soon as possible. Once again, very full delivery and inside edge on the pads. Appeal there, but it was just a formality. So 3 runs and a wicket coming off the ninth over by Pawan. 52 for the loss of 7. Salesforce strikers after 9 overs. Chaitanya will continue. He's got 2 in the previous over. 1 over 5 for 2 so far for Chaitanya. Rahul and Maruti, these two are very capable batters. Well, that ball kept low. Rahul did well to get down low. In fact, punches one into the cover. Fielder after that one. He'll cut that one off, but Rahul will get couple of runs. That was a very good shot from Rahul. Just covering the line of the ball and punching it for a couple of runs to start off the over. Well, this time the length was dragged back. Rahul once again committing early on the front foot. This time gets beaten on the outside edge. That's a dot ball. This time defense off the front foot. Straight to the short cover. Chanchanaidu there, who does well. Back to back dot balls. Rahul this time drives. Goes up and over. Will it find the fence? No, it will not. There's a fielder behind. Well, Rahul comes back for the second run with ease. They've taken one for the throw. Well, Maruti there was settling in with a single, but Rahul called him for the second. And in the end, they complete the second with ease. Well, I feel that Rahul should have been batting up the order for the Salesforce strikers. Is he coming too little too late? Or is there a twist in it? 83 needed of 55. It's not a very big ask in the T20 format, but Salesforce strikers have lost 7 wickets. That's a very big loss. Tossed up. That's a very good delivery from Chaitanya. Very slow, extremely slow through the air. And on the stumps, Rahul did well to keep it out. So 4 runs coming off that over at the halfway mark. Sales for strikers are 56 for the loss of 7. They need another 83 in remaining 54 balls. 9 overs remaining, 83 needs to be scored at the required rate of 9.22 runs per over. We'll be right back after a very short breaks. There will be a change in end and players will have water as well. Well, another wicket going down for Salesforce striker. It's Maruti who's been dismissed. Well played all over that straight delivery, and Chanchanaidu, as normally he does, hits the target, getting rid of Maruti. Eighth one down for Salesforce strikers in the very last ball of the 11th over. 2 runs and a wicket coming off that 11th over from Chanchanaidu. Well. Salesforce strikers now in danger of getting bundled out. Another introduction in the bowling attack. Now Chaitanya into the attack. Chaitanya 2. He is a fast bowler. 115 matches for Chaitanya, 112 wickets, economy just over 6, 6.12. Best figures of 5 for 21 for Chaitanya. Will be bowling at Rahul Polapalli. Short and wide. Rahul looking to cut that one, but gets beaten. Nonetheless, it's been given wide as well. Score moves to 59 with that wide. 59 for the loss of 8 wickets after 11 overs. Salesforce strikers in danger of getting bundled out inside the 19 overs. Well, they still need 80 in remaining 8 overs. It's a very tough ask from here on. They need something miraculous from Rahul Polapalli to pull this one off. Well, that shot to the gully, that straight to the gully fielder, a direct hit, and that's been given. Well, nothing going in favor. Nothing going in favor of Salesforce striker. Well, that went very quickly to the gully fielder. They went for the quick single, a clean pickup, and a direct hit from the fielder, and it's curtains. It cut it. These are curtains for Vinith. Vibe of the fielder there in the inner circle. A very good clean pickup and a super throw hitting the target to get rid of another batter. Last batter in is Sai S. In at number 11 for says for striker. Well, he's the last man standing. Well, sales for striker. They have started off nicely. They've lost their first wicket on 30 odd runs. From there on, they have continuously lost their wickets. Sai S just running that one in the third man region to get himself off the mark. Score moves to 60 with that single. Well, Vinith the man dismissed. He didn't even face a delivery. He was dismissed for not without even facing a delivery. Got run out by Darshit in the point. Full delivery, driven, square, beautifully over point. That's a boundary. That's a very good shot from Rahul Polapalli. He's been a lone warrior for Salesforce strikers. Very full delivery. Width was there, and Rahul Polapalli beautifully square drives it over that point fielder for a boundary. That ball raced very quickly off the surface. Score moves to 64 with that boundary. 64 for the loss of 9 now. Once again drives, but this time it was very close to that point fielder. Might go to a boundary. Yes, it yeah, does. But that was a very dangerous shot. Rahul flirting with danger now. It was not full enough to be driven on the up, but Rahul does. That went in the air. That was just towards the right of point fielder, who got his hands stretched wide, but it was just out of his grasp and no chance for the sweeper cover fielder, as that was very well struck by Rahul. So back to back boundaries for Rahul. Now he's taken everything on him. Once again, chance of a run out, but this time Rahul was sent back in time. That went straight to the point fielder. Once again, looking for that quick single. Rahul, but this time Sai at the non striker sends him back in time. So that's a dot ball. That would have been third run out on a trot if it would have been 10 runs and a wicket in this over so far. Last ball of the over. That's a wide down the leg. We have to wait for the umpire signal. Huge appeal, but it's been given as wide as well. There was a sound, but big gap between bat and ball there. It looks as if that sound came bat hitting the pad there. Batter trying to play at the ball and hitting his very own pad with the bat. So getting that sound out, but very interested, very animated appeal from the bowling team. Last ball of the over. A length delivery. Rahul looking to play on the rise. Very close to that outside edge. It's a dot ball. Good over. 11 runs and a wicket. Coming off that one after 12 overs. Salesforce striker 69 for the loss of 9 wickets. Another introduction in the bowling attack. Santosh now introduced. He's a right arm pacer too, Santosh. 91 matches for Santosh, 49 wickets. Economy very good, 5.70. Best figures of 3 for 5 for Santosh. Starts off with a very full delivery, attacking the stumps, understandably, as his team is trying to get rid of the last batter standing. Sai does well to keep it out. More fielders protecting that single. Again, Sai very full. This time worked away on the onside, but straight to the short mid wicket fielder. No run there. So back to back dot deliveries. Well, Sai, he needs to just rotate the strike and give it to Rahul, who's striking well, but he thinks otherwise. Hits it over the infield. Fielder there was brought in the long on region. He was brought into mid on, and Sai goes over his head for a boundary. Well, that's a very brave shot. Only one wicket in the tank for Salesforce strikers, and he went for that shot. He'll get boundary for that one. Now plays it very late, cuts it, and will get a single. Rahul will get the strike in this over. Good play from Sai. When the field was brought up, he went over, but now the fielder was pushed back in that region, so he just plays it with a very soft hand into the gully for a single. Well, what a ball that was! Very full, attacking the stumps. A Yorker. Rahul does exceedingly well to get his bat down in time. He is a very capable batter, Rahul, but 65 of 37. This is not an easy task, but still is achievable, I must say. Short and very slow through the surface. That ball never arrived, but Rahul still does well to get it over the infield. in the cover region, so it will only be a single to close out the over. After 13 overs, 75 for the loss of 9, says 4 strikers. They need another 64 in remaining 36 balls. Only one wicket in the tank. Chanchanaidu to bowl out. He'll ball the 14th over. This will be last for him. So far, 3.1 overs, 15 for 2 for him. He starts off his final over with a dot ball. Rahul chasing every delivery is looking to score as much as possible in the given deliveries. Well, that's in the air, but that's been put down. Well, that would have been curtains for Salesforce strikers, but the fielder there in the gully region puts it down. He got good hand to his. He got good two hands to the ball, but in the end, that ball just popping out of his grasp. Rahul gets a lifeline. Well, a length delivery outside off stump coming in with the angle. He let that one go through. That's been given by 4. Nandakishore nearly there. Should have been collecting that one. Instead, he lets one go through. Uh, And that's 4 for Salesforce strikers. Well, once again, the ball keeps low. Rahul looking to play on the rise. Well, he's itching to play on the front foot. Waiting for the length. Anything fuller. Huge appeal for caught behind. But not out, says the umpire. Not out, says the umpire. Well, that's played down the ground all along the carpet. Down to long off for a single to end the over. Only 5 runs coming of this one. 80 for the loss of 9 after 15 overs. In fact, our 14 overs. Final 5 overs remaining in the tank for one Champion Cricket Academy. Akhil Madikunta into the attack. Starts off with a very full delivery. Rahul Palapalli will get a single. Well, that was a quicker one on the pass, and uh, he'll get a single for that one as well. Two singles on a row in this over so far. 82 for the loss of 9. One wicket away. Well, that's a clean-up job there. Rahul Polepalli, the last man dismissed. Sharp turn for Akhil to get rid of Rahul. He was playing for a straight delivery and that turned a long way and hits the timber. Well. A very disappointing end for to bat first, posting 138 for the loss of 6 in their 20 overs. Heavy contribution at the top. Pawan 71 of just 48 deliveries for him and 19 of 28 deliveries for Andakishore. Late down the order contribution from the captain D9, 30 of 24 for him. All in all, 138 for the loss of 6 in their 20 overs. In reply, Salesforce strikers bundled out for just 82. No real contribution. Vivek Reddy and Ajit Singh at the top look good for their 16 and 12 respectively, but no real contribution. Rahul Polapalli in the end getting 17. Apart from that, no batter getting into the double figures as well. So they are bundled out for 82. So congratulations to the game changers for winning this Silver Cup final with a handsome margin of 57 runs. Player of the match will be Pawan for his all round performance, 71 runs with the bat and 3 wickets with the ball. 13.79 MVP points make him the player of the match. That's it from the coin box. Do catch us in the second final of the match.